bringing it back local, one of the things that we have not covered since COVID started happening is the impact that this pandemic has had on nonprofits. And this could be a whole segment in and of itself, because nonprofits are critical to the fabric of any community, but especially Big Sky. Big Sky and Southwest Montana has a tremendous amount of resources and volunteers and hard work that goes into the nonprofit community. And as Todd just alluded to, recently there was a Give Big campaign where people donated to Southwest Montana charities, and there was record millions of dollars that was raised. Bringing it back to Big Sky Community Organization has been a fabric of this town for many years and does a tremendous work on a number of fronts. And leading that charge is Ciara Wolfe, who happens to be a Bobcat alum. So that's always a good resume starter for this area. And I'd like to welcome Ciara to close out the platform today.
Yes, thank you, Eric. It's nice to see everyone, and definitely a lot of information shared tonight. I've learned a lot just sitting here, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Wonderful. So Ciara, before we get into the big news of the day, and it is big news, especially in light of like everything that's going on, why don't you tell people a little bit about what Big Sky Community is and does, and some of the fun things that you guys get to work on a daily basis?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. A nonprofit with a mission of a vision of a connected community, how integral and how important it was to have that backbone when we were dealt with the COVID-19 circumstances of having to have everybody separated. We manage and maintain our trail system and our park system, and we develop that. We also provide community programming. And since March 16th, since this has really impacted us, we've seen huge amounts of use of our trails. Our trails already have a double capacity. They're at 200% of what their normal daily user rate is. Our park feels like it's middle of July when you walk down to the community park right now. So we have been just working hard trying to service this community. We expanded our grooming when Lone Mountain Ranch had to close theirs down, and groomed trails an additional 6 kilometers for over a month. And then we've also worked with all of our partners together to put together community programming. Hungry Moose being one of them, talking about the virtual kitchen. I think in the past 7 weeks, we've had over 1,000 participants on these community programs virtually from all of our partners at the Discovery School, at Warren Miller Performing Arts Center, the Arts Council of Big Sky, you name it. Everybody's been coming together, Women in Action, and putting on programming to be able to keep our community connected, even when we're all supposed to be socially isolated from each other.
Yeah, well, great work on that front, and good pivot. Big Sky Community Organization really stepped up in the last 8 weeks, as Ciara just alluded to, on a number of programs that they've helped organize, lead, or help promote. But let's get on to the big news of the day, because when you would least expect it on May 4th, some big things happened in Big Sky today. So why don't you talk a little bit about what happened here and your guys' role within that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thrilled to be able to share with everyone today that the long-awaited community center base that this community has been dreaming and working for over a decade, and we have had put into action a couple years ago really strongly, is beginning construction as of this week. We actually had trailers moved to the site this afternoon. Tomorrow, our entire construction team will be mobilizing, and our excavation and site work contractors will be there on site. The entire 3.3 acre parcel, which has the parkland and also the space for the community center, is going to be closed from this point forward until we get to reopen the park next summer in 2021, and then open the facility before our 21-22 ski season. I say that with a lot of excitement because it has taken a lot to get to this point. And obviously we were thrown some curveballs at the same time. Our board of directors really had to evaluate where our organization sat, where we were at with our fundraising, the impacts that it would have to be able to start a project of this scale right now with so many uncertainties in construction and supply chain and costs and everything, and also the impacts that it would have on the people that live here. And we were able to evaluate those risks, and with a really wonderful construction team, Langless and Associates, were able to move forward, and just wanted to be able to share that with everyone, that you all invested in us to make this happen and believed in us, and we're gonna make sure and bring it to fruition and get that project completed here in the next 18 months.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations, Ciara. I know you and your team did a lot of hard work there, and they had a campaign for the last couple of years called All In, and that was to encourage everybody to play some role in either donating or helping make this happen. And the community did really step up, and it's a great example of when you get focused on something, you can achieve big things in small places. And so a lot of these topics we've covered today, if you're out there and get inspired, realize that the community center is a great example that we can achieve great things. Ciara, I think the last thing I'd love to hear from you is on the nonprofit landscape with COVID. I mean, this is gonna make some potential rough seas for the nonprofit sector, not only from people getting finding donors, but in particular in Big Sky, a lot of money does come from resort tax. Talk to us a little bit about this group of the nonprofit sector. I know you talked to all the other leaders. How are you guys navigating these waters? What are you expecting? And then maybe talk a little bit about what Give Big kind of meant to you all in the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Well, I can say we're navigating it together, just as the lodging partners or other sectors in our community. We're all in it together, supporting each other, talking through situations, trying to forecast and plan accordingly, and also partner together on wherever we can. So we are working through things. I would say for the nonprofit sector, I've been in this sector my entire career and went also through the 2008 crash. And the biggest priority is to focus on your mission, your core mission, really narrow down what it is that your work is and what the needs of the community are, and make sure that those are matching. And sometimes that means there's hard decisions. There may be programs that are dropped, services that you can't do, projects that are put on hold. Our organization has already put a couple big capital projects on hold that we were planning on moving forward, and just know right now is not the right time. But if you can focus on your core of why you were originally founded, and what it is that everybody loves, and you can continue to communicate that and cultivate that and do it efficiently. That's the one thing about the nonprofit sector. We are as frugal and efficient as it comes. We know how to get a lot done with a little amount of money. With that said, you still have to invest in them, or really the entire net, the entire web that holds communities together will collapse. You cannot forget how important all of these arts and cultural, environmental, community, social services, all of those things are to what keeps us together any given day. So that's just my thought process for all of you listening, and also for all of our nonprofit partners. We're in it. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to continue meeting those missions, but please continue to support us. And Give Big was just really a wonderful way, after going through all of this, to see how much this community does love their nonprofit partners. I believe in total for Gallatin County, it was almost $1.7 million raised in 24 hours. And several nonprofits locally here benefited, and I know we'll put those funds to really good work.